Alright fellas, so I finally did something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that's install an MST box along with the coil. It's all wired up, all that good stuff. Let me start it real quick for you. Sounds way, smoother and all that good stuff. Alright fellas, so I'm gonna go over the wiring. It's really super easy. I'll try to keep it short and quick because I still got to add, I'll do that at the end of all this. So I'll edit in the physical aspect of wiring this up and mounting and all that jazz. Okay, so, but I'll speed it up so it's not like, an hour-long video or anything like that. So again, the wiring is crazy easy for this particular truck. So the thick gauge red and black wire, these two wires right here, I added a loom for a little extra protection. I fed it between the radiator and the grill, and fed it through here, red to positive, black to negative. Super easy. And for the coil, orange and black. You'll know it obviously from the color, and it's got its own loom. So orange goes to the positive. Hopefully you'll see it over here on the left, and on the right is the negative, which is the black wire. And when you're doing this, since this is a 4-cylinder, I had to snip. There's these two wires, this little tiny red and blue wire. I had to snip those. It's the only way the MSD will allow everything to work the way it's supposed to. Again, since this is a 4-cylinder, I had to do that. If you have a 6-cylinder, you only have to snip one of them. If you have an 8, you don't have to touch those at all. And gray wire, that's for the tack. There's supposed to be like an adapter that you can order from MSD, so that your tack gets a signal when you install the MSD box and coil and all that. And this harness, so that again, that tack wire we don't use, and at least yet. And this harness is 2-pin harness, green wire and purple wire. That, I believe it goes to your distributor, which obviously that I know of, MSD doesn't make a distributor for the D21. It'd be awesome if they did, though. Anyway, the only other wires that we use are this red and white wire that we have wound up alongside with this tack wire, the gray tack wire. I have it wound up because I didn't want to snip anything in case when I install that 350, you never know when you need all that, the length of all that wire to reach, because everything is situated differently on the 350 versus this 4-cylinder. So anyway, what I did differently though, the one thing I did differently, in the forums, everyone is always saying the same thing when they're installing the MSD box. They always talk about having to slice open the harness from the intake side ignition control module. You'll know that this is the harness for that. It's a four pin harness, and this is the actual from the coil and module side. This is the stock one. Truck side, coil side. But again, you're not using that. I'm keeping it, but I'm not gonna have it hooked up. So what I did is I snagged the harness, 4-pin harness from extra ignition control module that I had. It was probably fried, but anyway, the harness itself is good. But from the truck side, the only 2 wires we need are these 2 top wires. You see the blue one with the red dot every inch or so? That is your ground. The black one with the white stripe going down, all the way down, that would be your signal wire, or considered your signal wire. It gets power when you turn your ignition on. So correspond that with this harness, hook them up. So on this side, it just happens to be a solid blue wire. But again, it depends on what harness you get and where you got it from and what year. But anyway, this on the ground, the blue with the red stripe, it goes to the white wire on the MSD, and the black with white stripe, which thankfully happens to be the same color code on this side, it goes to the red wire on the MSD. And that's all you need. That's it. Nothing else is needed. And that's literally all the wiring. And the other reason that I went this route and I didn't chop up the harness and tap into it from the MSD side, I want, in case I'm ever out in the highway or out in the boondocks somewhere, and say something goes wrong with the box or the coil, I have an extra one just in case. But say something does happen, I want to be able to just unplug the MSD side of things and hook up the ignition control module, the stock one, which I'm going to leave here, and all I would have to do is unplug the ignition coil or ignition wire from the MSD coil and hook it right back to the stock coil on the truck side. And I'd be able to, it'd run like normal, and I'd be able to get where I was going, get home, wherever. It's a lot better than being stuck and having no options. The only other thing is, if I didn't already mention it, the grounds are very important for this to work. If your grounds are bad, if they're not good, the coil will melt. It will absolutely melt on you. Again, as you guys know, I have welding wire added as grounds. I still have the stock grounds, but I also added ground wire from the engine to the firewall, from alternator to the battery, from the computer to the frame of the truck. Those are the main grounds that I have. So anyway, again, I'll get off of here and I'll edit in the physical part of mounting this and that sort of thing. And hopefully this makes sense. And it really is an easy install. And I'll see you. I just sound it. Right now, here's the message. Just very for seeing how this for the noise. I don't know if I just want to start the record. This is on line. This is a blue commercial light for my deposit. Oh my god, and next name. And this is yellow. Next slide. Oh, that's good. So that's nice. Zero. Great, great. Let's see. That's the header. Yeah, the header. Let's go for the consideration. 3 hours. 56. It's on your back. It's on your back. This is yes, with that. Now, I'm going to do that. First of all, I'm going to say that I'm going to people over here. So, I'm going to check it out. And these are okay. Very nice. Just so that's actually possible. And then I think that's this one. There's a this is there's a position. So that's that. Not missing it. That's actually nice. Position here. These so I'm taking short. Everybody is ready to need to try to just want to in the direction city already very positive and so yeah so these will get you for you to and for the people use and to most people use this all into it's also like so that's fine actually so the is happy well okay so that's what we're going to say this one same so that's what we see it goes people yeah it's like this you it's going to be the blue is the black one that's all that's all and that's what it's one now it's like only and that one was one so we do just here and the first you know like room the other that's this one is the power way which is that is the same okay and you can see so this one which are now right goes to negative which is set up line and right is positive and this is that as you guys so it's like it's you maybe you just not because I'm marching to here so